Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
These days, show me an elected Democrat. I'll show you the problem. In fact, I can pinpoint the problem right there. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us this hour from around the country, 800-848-9222. Democrats, I shouldn't be surprised, even though I am, looking to deflect and even blame President Trump for the murder of that innocent 18-year-old young lady, Sheridan Gorman, the student from our area, Westchester County, New York, that was in her freshman year of college in Chicago. Bears repeating. You show me an elected Democrat these days, I'll show you the problem. You can pinpoint it right there. You cannot make this up. This is Governor Pritzker in Illinois. The governor actually deflecting and trying to blame Trump for the murder of this young lady.
Governor, the parents of Sheridan Gorman, she's the Loyola University student,
Yes.
was murdered. Her parents said about their daughter's killings, quote, "We are greatly disappointed by the policies and failures that allowed this individual to remain in a position to commit this crime," the suspect that is. "When systems fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract, they are real, and in our case, they are permanent." What do you say to Sheridan's parents, Tom and Jessica Gorman, when they blame policies, including those in Illinois, for their daughter's murder?
Well, this has been a terrible tragedy, and I know that the Gorman family has suffered mightily. I agree, there have been real failures. Those failures, of course, extend beyond the borders of Illinois. Their national failures, a failure to have comprehensive immigration reform, a failure of the president to follow his own edict to go after the worst of the worst.
So hard to believe in this situation, but again, Democrats trying to deflect and blame Trump for this young lady's murder. Now, the last time I checked, Trump tried his best to bring the National Guard into Chicago. Pritzker and clown mayor Brandon Johnson, and Pritzker's as much a clown as Brandon Johnson is as well, they fought it tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. And now the lead Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, says he isn't sure that this illegal who murdered this young lady should be deported.
An illegal immigrant has been charged with murdering a college student in Chicago last week. Do House Democrats believe if he's convicted, he's someone who should be deported?
I'll look into the case.
Do you expect any...
I'll look into the case. I'll look into the case. This has been bubbling up for a while in terms of African Americans in Chicago, Illinois. This young woman erupts, appearing on television, lashing out at Governor Pritzker.
What goes through your mind as you listen to his reaction today and you look back at what he said right after President Trump's election?
Obviously, Governor Pritzker does not care about the American people. He hasn't said anything about Sheridan. He actually went to Minnesota to put down flowers for Renee Good, but did not go to the lakefront where he filmed an ad to show how safe Chicago is that's now stained with her blood. He hasn't gone there to drop a rose. We are tired, America. We need help. I've been sitting here in this chair for 2 years asking the federal government to supersede the policies that are making the American people sitting ducks for criminals, literal criminals who crawl through a hole in the gate and are being subsidized with our tax dollars. How much more can we take? She's not the first woman to be killed by an illegal in this city, in this country. But yet every time we ask for the help and we get the help, we have our local officials here who send out their liberal army to go out and fight against them. And we're asking everybody to now get out the way and let them do their work. Mr. President, we need another Tomahawk helicopter here in the city of Chicago at Leona Park Beach Shelter. That's where that man lives. And if there was one gun in there, there are several guns in there. They are terrorizing and harassing the American people, and our local officials refuse to do anything about it. So we're asking you, please, President Trump, come save us. Sheridan didn't deserve to die, and we don't want more of American blood to be spilled on the sidewalk by these invaders.
Show me an elected Democrat these days, I'll show you the problem. Every town needs a journalist like William J. Kelly. Every city. Now, you don't know who this guy is, but they end up being, and it used to be at New York City Hall as well, they end up being an advocator / journalist. In other words, they keep their thumb in the eye of the elected official. So the guy here that's challenging clown mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, his name is William J. Kelly. He's the reporter. And, every major city used to have one. You got to have one of these guys that goes out of conventional thought, and they just push, fight against an elected official. So this is William Kelly, as he often does. I want you to hear this exchange. This is clown mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, and journalist William Kelly.
Mayor Johnson, Bethany McGee, I don't know if you remember her name. She was set on fire on a CTA train by a repeat violent offender who was out on the street because of your policies. She never would have been set on fire. She would be living her life right now, but for your policies. Now, again, we have another young lady, 18-year-old Irish girl, Sheridan Gorman, who is dead at the hands of a suspect, an illegal alien, who, once again, was out on the streets because of your policies. Okay?
What's your question?
He wanted... I'm sorry, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me.
Get to the question. Respect.
Don't interrupt me. Respect the question.
What question?
Respect the question.
Ask it. What's the question? All right, Craig.
Could you have a little respect?
Goes
Sheridan Gorman is dead today at the hands of a suspect, an illegal alien, who was out on the streets because of your policies. You've spent hundreds of millions
Ask the question.
of taxpayer dollars to protect these illegal aliens. You've instructed the Chicago Police Department not to turn them over to ICE. Do you have anything? You didn't even issue a statement, which I guess is better than the statement you released.
We got it.
Announcing that Bethany McGee was an isolated incident, which is an insult, which is almost evil.
Please get to the question, sir.
Did you coordinate with Governor Pritzker not to release statements as a way of trying to diminish the death?
I think I understand your question.
Sheridan Gorman.
So there was no coordination, between me or any other level of government around this tragedy. What I can say is it is a tragedy, and look,
a preventable tragedy.
As someone who is raising a family,
you don't have any problem interrupting me, do you?
Do you want the answer to your question?
I want to answer the question here. And look, as I said in my opening remarks, as I prepare to send my child off to college, of course you want to send them into a place that they're going to thrive and grow. And it's heartbreaking. It's a tragedy. And what I can say, though, is that my work to continue to create safe and affordable communities, that work doesn't stop when we have a tragedy like this. And as we continue to grieve the loss of Sheridan and other victims who have fallen because of senseless violence, we're going to double down on our efforts to ensure that we create safe communities across the city, and we're going to continue to.
Will you apologize will you take this opportunity to apologize to Sheridan's parents for the policies that you promoted that would directly caused her death. That suspect would not be in the city, would not be in the country, but for your policies. Will you take this opportunity to apologize to Sheridan's family?
We're all grieving the loss of Sheridan and other folks who have lost their lives because of senseless violence. And let's just be very clear, between the Safety Act and the Welcoming City Ordinance, the Welcoming City Ordinance was passed 40 years ago by the first black mayor in the history of Chicago. And the Safety Act was passed under the governor, at that time who was a Republican, Governor Rauner. Thank you for your question.
So you will not apologize to Sheridan's parents?
Hi, Mayor.
You have no apology? You have nothing to say to them?
I want to follow up on some of the other appointments. What's taking so long to get somebody appointed to head?
And so there you have it. And this is why this is interesting for you folks. Your taxpayer dollars at work. If you listen to the background players, right? They're on the mayor's payroll of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. You heard a woman and you heard a guy. And so I stand by my statement that every city needs a journalist like that individual that was just asking the questions, right? Somebody that's in the mayor's face, William J. Kelly. And your taxpayer dollars at work sounds like a communications director. Her job is to make sure that the mayor looks good and that his little feelings are not hurt or embarrassed. And then you have the guy that's holding the mic standing next to him. And so we used to have journalists, maybe, advocate like William J. Kelly, but not anymore. Now what do we have? You're asking a question off topic. We must stick to the topics of what the mayor wants to talk about today. Oh, no. We're not taking those types of questions. That is the world that we live in today. So we have parents in Chicago of Sheridan Gorman, the 18-year-old, that just arrived there. And it's all about protecting the clown mayor's image. And notice what he would not say. He just would not say sorry. And he's minimizing her death by saying, yes, we're grieving the loss of Sheridan. And then he points to other victims. So, Mr. Mayor, are you talking about the innocent children that are killed on your watch in Chicago? Which victims are you referring to this time, Mr. Mayor, with your sick, warped agenda?